Hello, SCL members, and welcome to today's very exciting Q&A for Elton John, Never Too Late. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Costa Communications, Disney Plus, Rocket Entertainment, and everyone working on the SCL team. And now I'd like to welcome our moderator, Melinda Newman.
Good afternoon. I am so honored to say these words. Let's welcome Sir Elton John, Sir Bernie Taupin, and Brandi Carlile to talk about Never Too Late. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hi.
Yes. Hi. Thank you.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
United.
Good to...
And also congratulations. The song is already a winner. It won at the 2024 Hollywood Music and Media Awards. It won Best Song for a Documentary Film. So Never Too Late is already on its awards path.
Right. Yeah.
Brandi, I want to start with you. Like when you were watching the documentary, what inspired you? And was it immediate? Were you like, while you were watching, did you start making notes and taking pen to paper?
Well, I was so overwhelmed by what I was seeing and excited because I knew I was seeing archival footage that maybe nobody had ever seen before. And as a person that discovered Elton and Bernie as a child, it wasn't really lost on me that I was seeing it in Elton's house, and I was thinking, wow, this is what has happened to my life. But I was just really touched by all the adversity that Elton had and Bernie had overcome over the course of their journey, and I was really moved by it.
And I want to ask both Elton and Bernie, this song is really about your legacy. It's the first 5 years, which is just this, no pun intended, just this rocket ride. The astonishing amount of creativity, and then it culminates in these 2 nights at Dodger Stadium, and then the film ends with the 2022 Dodger Stadium shows. For both of you, how do you feel the song and the movie contribute to your overarching story of your careers?
Well, the documentary was originally called Farewell Yellow Brick Road, which is kind of lame, but obvious. And then when I heard this song, it just made sense to read the lyrics. And I just thought it summed up my life, really. And, and Bernie's life. We've both been through the mill and we both come out the other side with happy stories. Not just me, Bernie as well. And what we've been through is quite miraculous. And to find at this time of our lives that both of us have never been as happy is quite extraordinary. And, it's an amazing story. I mean, what impressed me by looking at the film the second time, because the first time I was like, oh, the second time I was so impressed by the output that we made from 1970 to 1975. It's an extraordinary amount of work, but the quality of it and the things that I like, all the nasties, which I'd forgotten about from Mad Men, it made me feel so proud. And I think what Bernie and I've been through, and come out the other side as songwriters and still be together is extraordinary and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, Bernie, what did you think when you were watching it? I got the privilege of talking to Elton before, and we were talking about how during that time period, you guys were like a faucet that just never turned off. Like for that 5 years, there was just this voluminous output of extraordinarily high quality music. So what were you thinking when you watched the film, and what were you thinking about that period?
Well, I think with all due respect, this documentary is very, very much Elton. It's about Elton. Yes, my voice is in there, but I'm almost like, I think of myself as one of those sort of disembodied heads in a hologram. I'm there, but I'm not there. So that's kind of how I look at it. No, I think this is the way it should be. I'm just happy that my work is there in my contribution to the songs. But I really believe that this documentary is all about him, as it should be. that's the way I see it, and I think that's the way it should be. And I'm just happy to participate in the way that I always have.
So, Brandi, did you have to get up the nerve to play the song for Elton? Like, were you like, okay, I'm about to present these lyrics to my hero? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was absolutely nervous. I'm really glad you didn't ask me that question before I did it, because I don't know that I would have had the nerve to set a lyric down in front of Elton John for the first time if I had had to take it even a moment to think about it. But one place that Bernie is in this documentary, one place that Bernie is in this song is that, you know, first of all, he's my songwriting hero. But second of all, we have something in common, which is that we may be the only two people in the world who have written a lyric about Elton John that he has to sit there and sing, that he has to self-reflect, say a nice thing about himself, and actually take a look for 3.5 minutes at who he is, because he likes to just get right past all that forward motion, forward motion. And the only reason I would know how to do that is because I learned how to do it from Bernie Taupin.
And Bernie, what did you think when you saw the lyrics and then we're like, okay, this is strange to have these words put into Elton's mouth that I would normally be putting in Elton's mouth? Or were you like, man, she nailed it? Like, what did you think, Bernie?
Hey, Brandi always nails it. I have I have the highest confidence in her capability to do the same things that I do. And in actuality, I mean, I didn't see the lyrics until I heard the song. So she may have shown me fragments of it because we'd been passing ideas between the two of us, and I probably saw bits and pieces. But the actual song as is, I didn't really see the full scope of it until it was done. And, you know, as I say, she's in the same wheelhouse as me, you know, and she gets it, and she knows that man the same way as I do. And I'm just happy to share him with her, with her, sorry.
Either way, then
The only
Elton,
thing is I haven't slept with either of them.
There's still time. There's still time.
there's still time.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Oh, no one's going to top that.
Right.
So, Elton, what was the writing the music process like? How long did it take you? Was it instantaneous?
Instantaneous is the word. That's the way I write. Whether it's Brandi or someone else, or sorry, Bernie or someone else. I've always, if I get a lyric, it usually flows pretty quickly. If it doesn't, then I go back to it. And if I can't do it again, I just abandon it. But usually I write, when I see the lyrics jump off the page like that, I knew exactly, having written with Bernie all these years, I know exactly what to write. And Brandi's lyrics, I knew exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be a ballad. It was about me. And the more I got delved into the words, you're an Iron Man baby. She wrote it about how, you know, I've been through so many things in my life and I'm still here. And I identified with it. So I thought, I've got to make this a really good song because it's about me. There haven't been many songs about me. What was the one on Captain Fantastic?
Well, all of them are about you to a certain extent, but that one where you're being self-critical is called Bitter Fingers.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. So, and then we all fall in love sometimes and things like that. Captain Fantastic was for me one of my favorite albums because it was about the relationship and the love that Bernie and I had for each other. And it was so special and so easy to write. And this lyric had the same thing. It was like, okay, it's about me. It's a beautiful lyric. Don't mess it up, basically.
I don't think you're going to mess it up. But for the chart watchers among us, Captain Fantastic was also the first album to ever debut on Billboard's charts at #1.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I wrote the whole album on the SS France, the last journey of the SS France from Southampton to New York. And I had the music room for 1 hour every lunchtime. And I wrote all the songs more or less there. And I remember them. I didn't record them, tape record them. I didn't write the chords down. I remembered them. And I got to Caribou and we started recording. You know, the songs and the lyrics were so strong. How could I? It was the first record I'd ever made, which was about both of us. And it was so striking.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Bernie, do you want to say anything about that record? Do you hold it in your heart the same way that Elton does? Because it's your journey.
You know, what's interesting about that record, I mean, what they've both just said about it is entirely correct. What's interesting, sort of tidbit about it, is that Elton wrote all of those songs in in the same format and the same way as I presented to him. Uh, and that's the way he wrote them, and that's the way we recorded them, all in sequence, which was quite amazing. I gave them to him in the sequence that they were supposed to be represented on the finished record.
And it ends with curtains. It starts with Captain Fantastic, the American Cowboy, ends with curtains.
Exactly, and he went from top to
Whoa.
bottom the way he wrote them, and that's the way we recorded them also. So, yeah,
And that helps
it
so
was
much.
pretty unique.
I'm just
Yeah.
that it just goes to how in sync you are with each other. All
Yeah.
those years ago and
Yeah,
still
I mean,
today.
yeah, I guess that could be the conclusion, but I think we don't overthink that part of the plan. It's we let the dice fall where they may.
What
And,
was
and in Melinda, it's always a mystery what kind of lyrics I'm going to get whenever we do an album. I don't get. I so look forward to seeing what I'm going to get because we don't write together, and I can only write to his lyrics basically. Everything is always fresh and it's exciting. It's the same from when we started writing all those early songs, which never got really released. Well, they did in the end, but from Empty Sky, I've always look forward to getting the because I don't know what I'm going to get. And it's like, oh, what's this going to be? It's kept my writing fresh. It's kept him fresh. And it's the not knowing, which is so great.
I can almost imagine like your heart must be pounding when you get those lyrics. Like it's like, what kind of wonderful gift is Bernie about to give me that I have no idea what it's going to be?
It's quite the most incredible relationship that I think there's ever been because it's as though we're psychic with each other.
And
And there's
also, I'm the recipient of those gifts. Also, it's not just what he gets; it's what I get back in the long run. So it works both ways. Believe me.
What I can't imagine for you is that feeling of knowing how quickly Elton moves on from something if it doesn't resonate right away. And you may have written something that really means something, and then you put it in front of him, and that feeling of it, is he going to move on or is he going to sing to it, is quite it's formidable, that feeling.
Well, actually, I got a lyric from Bernie, which I love so much, called "The Night Bobby Went Electric," or "The Day Bobby Went Electric." And I tried to write it so many times, and I couldn't do it, and someone else did it in the end. But there are times when I just can't get it, and that the lyric was fantastic, and I really so wanted to do that because it told a story of an incredible situation, incredible moment in pop music history. But I couldn't do the bloody thing, so it doesn't work all the time.
Pressure.
Yeah, Elton, I think you said
it's kind of like fishing. You throw the line in the water and you just hope he catches onto it. But yeah, it's if I put a certain amount of material in front of him, it's always a sort of chess game about which piece he's going to go for. Whether it's a title that interests him, or he sees something in the first line, or he sees something in the chorus. So it's a challenge to me because I always want to sort of put something in there that is that hook in the water, that he catches on to.
Uh-huh.
I want to talk about another aspect of the song, which is moving end of the documentary, and it's moving forward. Which, Elton, there's that part where you're talking about John Lennon, and one of the things, you've become friends in the 70s, and one of the things you love about him is that he is always looking ahead. And Brandi, you capture that in some of the lyrics. Can you talk about why you felt that was so important to put in, and Bernie and Elton, what you thought when you heard that? It was like, yep, nailed it. That's me. Like, what did you think?
Oh, it's one of my favorite things about Elton, and something that I have so much affection and reverence for, is it's whether he's using all that forward motion to champion young artists, or whether it's just what he's interested in any given moment. If I see Elton John calling on my phone, I have to stop for a second and go, have I looked at the charts today? What's the hit song of the moment? What was in the news this morning? And I know I have to be ready to talk about something that's right now, because he's not going to want to talk about the past. And I love that about him.
It's always forward motion. I mean, like Bernie, is that something that you obviously had realized about Elton as well, that it's like you're not looking back, you were just moving forward?
Well, there are a lot of things that we are not the same in the same framework as, but one thing that we certainly are on the same page is the fact that yes, we always look forward, we don't look back. I mean, I think we're nostalgic to a certain point, but we don't live in the past. I think we look back on the early years prior to 1970, the couple of years that we spent, feeling things out and trying to get a foot on the rung of the ladder. Yes, we look back on those with great, great affection, and I still do to this day. They're some of the happiest times of my life. But after that, it just became a whirlwind, and we lived in that whirlwind, but we don't want to go back and exist in it anymore. We want to just ride the whirlwind into the future.
That's what, because part of the whirlwind was painful. I mean, as the documentary really, really points out, it was glorious and painful, at the same time. And I think the song captures that. Like Elton, you mentioned that it even changed the title of the documentary. Can you talk about how you hope the song impacts audiences? They're hearing it as the documentary, is the first in title song of the documentary.
It just so fits the documentary. All the story in the documentary and what happened to me and what I became is summed up in that 3.5, 4 minutes of song.
It is. And the song does what the documentary does.
Does what it says on the tin.
It makes him sit and reflect on himself and on his life. It makes him say nice things and hear nice things about himself. It makes him have a laugh at himself. And it just makes him sit in the Elton John-ness of it all for a moment, for 3.5 minutes. And the documentary does the same thing. And that's why they're such good bedfellows.
So it just, you feel like it sums it up. What song was going to end the movie if that didn't?
Well, I think we had Yellow Brick Road entering, and that would have been a real, but I mean, because it was called Farewell Yellow Brick Road originally. Yeah. I'm so glad it all worked out where we had something new at the end of it, so that the documentary is about my past, but this is the new song that looks forward, and that worked.
Yeah,
it looks very much forward. Were there any challenges to this for you, Brandi or Elton, for writing the music? Elton, I feel like there's never any challenges for you writing the music, because if there are, you ditch it. You're like, this one isn't going to work for me. But in fact, one time in an interview, you told me that you never spend more than, I think it was 3 hours. If you don't have the song, the melody in 3 hours, you, like Bernie said, you toss that one back. Like you,
45 minutes.
That's it.
That was 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you get 3 hours from?
You know what? I'll have to go back and find that interview. So maybe, yes. So nowhere near 3 hours.
He's made the album in 3 hours.
Maybe that's when he gets the whole package of lyrics. Because I was like, wow, that is like inspiration either hits or you're moving on.
If the lyrics are brilliant, and Bernie's lyrics have been brilliant, so it just illuminates my soul, and so something happens. God knows what. These lyrics were brilliant. It illuminated my soul, so it was no problem. And you get the spark from the lyrics, and I don't know what happens, but off I go, and here we are. Here's the song.
Were there any challenges at all to this? Like when you got in the studio, were all 4 of you, because Watt sadly is not here, but were all 4 of you on the same page, or what was that time like in the studio?
Well, the time was, God, it was pretty quick. I mean, we all work quickly. Bernie works quickly. I work quickly. Brandi works quickly, and Andrew works quicker than anybody. So,
really?
Oh, he's amazing. It was an amazing chemistry of 4 people that were exactly on the same page. And after I got, the instructions, the song, the lyrics, I finished it, and it was just, everyone was in agreement. This is this is great. I mean, on the original version, I think I sing "Fuck Off Heaven's Gate," and then we couldn't put that because it's in a documentary and people will watch it. So it's "To Hell with Heaven's Gate."
When I wrote that line, I was like, I wonder if I can make him sing "Fuck Off Heaven's Gate."
And it's really fabulous. But unfortunately, we had to swap it for "To Hell with Heaven's Gate," which says the same.
Yeah.
Can there
Which is
be a version that comes with a parental advisory where we get that version?
I don't think so. But no, it is what it is now.
So are the three of you going to collaborate again? Obviously, Bernie and Elton are going to collaborate again, but are you guys already thinking? Are there other things that you guys want to do together?
We've collaborated a couple of times, Brandi and I, once on the lockdown sessions and none on
Right.
this. I think we all love each other very, very much. And I think when you get to the stage of our careers and our lives and you really get on with someone, not to collaborate again would be silly, you know, because it makes sense. So yes, there is obviously a chance that we will be collaborating again.
Yeah,
That's
I can't imagine us not doing so. I mean, I've had fun writing with Brandi actually outside of this. You know, Brandi and I wrote a song that became, I think, a lead-off single for Tanya Tucker, called Breakfast in Birmingham, which I, you know, loved working with Brandi on. So I mean, she's our little sister, you know.
Yeah,
I
she is.
Oh,
We have a
and
little family here, and at this stage of our lives, to work with people you love is such a bonus, and to work with people who are great at what they do is a super bonus. And none of us have lost our touch. None of
yeah,
us.
believe
In
me, we
fact,
wouldn't work with somebody unless they were of the caliber that she is. So
yeah.
it'll go somewhere, believe me.
Yeah.
I think it's like even just hearing you guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Elton. Go ahead.
I truly believe she's the best vocalist and artist in America. Female.
I
Listen,
agree too. Second
Yeah.
that. Hey,
Yeah.
where's my kiss?
There's nothing this girl can't do.
she'll deliver that in person. Like I can't even. It's kind of a miracle to me. Like Brandi, you and I have talked about this a little bit. Like, what does it mean to you that Elton is actually you started listening to Elton and Bernie when you were 11? What does it mean to you that you now have a song that's already award winning that you have collaborated with them on? Like how does 11-year-old Brandi even process that?
Well, it tells me a lot about my instincts. It shows me that I picked the right heroes. Even as a little girl, I was already picking the right path for myself. And I found my way to these two men that have just changed my life in the most soulful way possible. And it's surreal. It'll never stop feeling very, very surreal. But I'm proud of myself for the caliber of hero that I chose, even at a young age.
Yeah. But I mean, Elton, you talked about how there haven't been that many songs that you've sung that are directly about you. Was it hard for you to sing this at all? Or you're like, yep, she nailed it about me with that. That's totally me. That's totally me. Like, were you laughing when you were reading the lyrics? Because you were like, she knows me so well.
No, I wasn't laughing. I was just all I was concentrating on was writing a really great melody that would fit the fantastic lyrics. I knew exactly what it was about. And especially the what's in the news,
Who's
More-
hot?
is in the news.
Where's the glory?
Where's the glory? I mean, that's yeah, that's me. And it's I don't know.
And he
It was
really
a
laughs at
magical
himself.
process, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of everyone who contributed to it. And I'm you know, it couldn't have been a more perfect song for this documentary or to sum up my life at this particular point.
Yeah, that's well, for the Society of Composers and Lyricists Awards, they like to ask the composers that they're talking to 2 questions. So I have those, and then we're going to wrap up, which was, what was the most interesting musical request you've had, and how did you resolve it?
What was the most interesting musical request?
Musical
we've
request.
had?
So I'm guessing like a request for a song to be able to use a song for something, or for someone to be like, would you write us the song for this? I think they deliberately left it open, vague, so you could kind of
Three of us,
interpret it the way
or
you want.
individually or as a group?
Individually.
I can't think of anything.
I mean,
Okay.
early on in my career, I have a song called The Story that says all of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. And when we were really broke, me and my band, we got asked by a plastic surgeon if he could license that song for $100,000. And it was really hard, but we said no, because we just thought that was just too on the nose.
Right.
Yep.
And then
I don't. Go
Go
on,
ahead.
Bernie.
I don't know. I can't think of one either, but I always wondered why we didn't get I'm Still Standing into a Viagra commercial.
Man, it's not too late. It's not too late. It could still happen. There are probably
Brilliant.
people watching this who could make that happen. And then this is just also based. What was your most challenging musical experience, and what did you learn from it?
A challenging musical experience that I haven't had but have witnessed is that it's been really inspiring watching Elton navigate playing right now perfectly, flawlessly with what he's been dealing with his sight. It's absolutely inspiring. And just to see him continue to overcome physical adversity and adversity like the kind he just described to you, he truly is an Iron Man baby. And it's pretty great.
Bernie, do you have something you want to add to that?
No, I can't follow that.
I was about to say, I can't follow that either.
I
I
just the I'm still standing thing. That was a mic drop.
Yeah.
yes, yes. I want to thank you guys.
That's it, man. That's a real mic drop.
Exactly. Someone really needs to get on that. But I'm also sure the answer would be no. So there's, I can't even imagine a price point where the answer would be yes to that licensing usage. I want to thank you guys so much on behalf of the Society of Composers and Lyricists, and also just Elton. We're all rooting for you. I mean, you've been so open about what's going on with your eyesight, and I think everyone is just really,
I'm an
rooting for
optimist,
you.
and there are people suffering much worse things than me. And so I've had so much support. I'm an optimist, and we're exploring different avenues. But at the moment, I know, as I say, I know people who are sight impaired and blind, and what they go through is much worse than what I'm doing. So there are times when I get a little down about it, but I'm happy. Okay.
And just thank you again so much. Good luck. Not that y'all need it. And just everybody, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Love you.